attractive. And attraction is the global game of dominance, judged by female dominance. Then for sure, we can't all be number one. So which aesthetic is aesthetically the best? And why?
Cool. I'm saying as y'all is 4 full-grown adults, I ain't gonna too much hold you. When it comes to the game of physical attraction and the handsome man's game, when it comes down to the more superior aesthetic, there's only one that reigns supreme, by far, globally, without a doubt. And to be completely honest, and that's natural born beauty and attractiveness. Yep, whoop, there it is, globally. And I even give you 10 scientific reasons that support my statement. So pull up a chair and lock in, because 1 through 9 is valuable, but by far the most important is number 10. So stay tuned and locked in to the very end, or else you'll have to watch it all over again. Yeah, I mean,
To keep it real, no matter the pill, when it comes to physical attraction, no matter if it's a glow up, surgically induced, or looksmaxxing, there will always be one version that will always reign supreme, and it's in your genes. When it comes to the whole world of Lookism, this is 10 reasons, benefits, and experiences why natural born beauty and physical attraction will always reign supreme and always be ideal and key. Lyrically sought after, have the most power and influence, and will always be the most superior and always be globally praised. Well, for the most part, can't be duplicated and or justified to perfection when it comes to human aesthetics. Natural born beauty is the top dog, and here's why. Number 1, the beauty blueprint. Yes, a huge way that natural born physical attraction or beauty reigns supreme is, gang, you're pretty much the poster child for what beauty is. All of those surgical doctors and even the lookmaxers and everything like that, when you're naturally beautiful and you're born naturally beautiful or attractive, you're the guidelines to beauty. You know what I mean? You're literally the blueprint. You're what they follow when they want to make beauty. I mean, it is naturally. You know what I mean? So anytime they want to create artificial beauty, you're the person, you're the guideline, you're the standpoint, you know what I mean, of how they mold and give other people what you have naturally. You know what I mean? You're the foundation, you know what I mean? Being born naturally beautiful and attractive, you basically are molded into the guidelines of how they create artificial beauty. You know what I mean? So without you, there would be no way to judge or measure or artificially create beauty. You know what I mean? So that's a huge advantage and reason why natural born beauty trumps all. You know what I mean? You can't kill the original. Number 2, a huge benefit and experience for natural born beauty is youthful experience for adulthood guidance. And just like anything started at youth is going to make you 10 times more proficient and efficient at it in adulthood. And how that works with beauty is you're going to start experiencing the halo effect at a very young age. So what does that do? That's going to mature you into knowing how to justify, understand, and know how to basically use your judgment for when you experience it in the adulthood. You know what I mean? It's experience. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, if you experience it in your youth, you're going to become familiar with it, normal with it. You know what I mean? Which is going to basically make you treat people better because it's going to be something that you're going to be used to. You know what I'm saying? I find it that a lot of new people who find out that they're attractive, or people who wasn't always attractive, that they became later attractive, you know, later on in life, they tend to be more arrogant. When someone's been attractive all their life, they get used to it, just like in anything. You know what I'm saying? You join anything in youth, you're going to be, like I said, more efficient at it in adulthood. So that helps you as far as being just an overall better person and not treating people like an asshole, because it's going to be something that you're used to, you know. Another benefit of that is that you're going to be able to reflect on the treatments that you received as a young child in your adulthood. Though you may not be able to psychologically understand in your youth about the halo effect, those moments, those treatments, those experiences are definitely going to bounce back, and you're going to have them to reflect on when you're in adulthood, to realize that, oh yeah, this is what was going on and things like that, which is putting you at a better stage of judgment for people's characters, and also putting you at a better state to be able to read and know, you know, what's going on and things like that. So the state of illusion and the state of confusion doesn't exist with you because you've experienced it all your life, and then you'll have those moments to reflect back on when you're in adulthood. And then a huge benefit also too is that it helps with you mentally. You know what I mean? A lot of people that experience that their beauty or that they have a physical attraction in late age, it's kind of like getting money at late age. They don't know how to handle it, and it can it could take an effect on your mental, negatively and positively. Just depends on, how fast you grasp it. So with that being said, experiencing the halo effect in your youthful age is kind of like studying for a big exam, right? So you wouldn't be able to pass that exam without having a textbook to look back on, to reflect, to study on. Well, that's kind of how being naturally born attractive, and experiencing the halo effect at a youthful age, Though you may not know it psychologically yet, when you're youth, when you're an adult, you'll know how to look back on those moments and be able to reflect and be able to use better judgment and know how to better judge people and better treat people, judge off your treatments and your experiences, and just better overall know how to read people and just wear the being attractive thing way much better, in your adulthood, because it's going to come with experience. And if you experience that when you're in youth, you're going to be way more efficient at it, so it helps you good, it helps you mentally, it helps you physically, it helps you spiritually, and it also helps other people, when it comes to you not being an asshole or arrogant person, because it's something, like I said, that you are going to be used to experiencing. It's not like taking a hood person and throwing him in the middle of, Calabasas, where he's not used to it. You're going to be used to this treatment, so things like that. So 9 times out of 10 is going to put you at a better state and a sense of humbleness, and a sense of comfortability, so it just overall enhances you and it properly prepares you for the future experiences, so in your later years, it's going to teach you how to properly wear it, to where it doesn't come off as arrogance or anything like that. It's going to provide and project a sense of norm, like you've been here before, so which is going to come off as aesthetically pleasing to people, because it's not going to come off as like, oh, this motherfucker don't know that he's attractive, or this motherfucker doing too much. It's going to come off as like a sense of like assurance and confidence, so people are going to better receive that, so people are going to be more comfortable with that, as you're more comfortable with it, because like I said, if you were naturally born attractive, it's going to be something that you've been experiencing since youth. So at that point, you're going to wear the being physically attractive label like a fitted suit, so number 3, another way that being born physically attractive just trumps everything, and why it's way more superior than any version of attraction that you can try to get to as far as aesthetics, is the global appreciation, the global acknowledgement, just the whole global favoritism, and just it just being mainly sought out, globally. I feel like globally as a planet and as mankind, we can all get behind this and all agree that natural beauty is the best beauty, and when you're born physically attractive naturally, man, the doors that it can unlock, so just that alone, shows the superiority of being born naturally attractive. Not only that, like I said, global appeal, the global attraction, the global acknowledgement, the global appreciation, the global attention that it gains, so being born naturally attractive, man, it's globally sought after, and it's just the high maintenance in it, the high status of it, and also the rarity and the purity, a lot of motherfuckers ain't born naturally attractive, for men and women, so when you are that and you are blessed with that, man, you have a stable foundation you can stand on, and man, you're like a prized possession, so, and the world loves it globally, I feel like I speak for us all globally when I say that. Globally, as far as natural born beauty, I feel like we all fucks with it, and I feel like there's only 2 things in this planet that globally we all agree on. Number 1, you can't go past the ice wall, and number 2, that natural beauty is best. Natural born beauty is best. Number 4, another way that being born naturally beautiful or being born naturally attractive is far more superior than any type of version of aesthetics is the simple fact that, gang, you are literally a hidden gem. You are part of that 10% of the world, when it comes to women, because women say they only think 8 to 10% of men is actually physically attractive. Well, gang, when you're born naturally attractive, you immediately get inducted into that, into that ratio. Straight out the womb, you make that ecstatic long leap into that small ocean, of attraction, that most motherfuckers don't even get to swim by, so natural beauty is everything, gang. Being born naturally attractive, gang, it's like you're a hidden gem, gang. You know what I mean? It's like if a plaque of gold was to grow legs, you know what I mean, and to grow arms and to grow bodies and walk around the street. You know what I mean? It's like that, man. It's a prized possession. So being born attractive naturally, you're a prized possession. You know what I mean? So that's a huge way that natural born attraction is superior than any version of aesthetics that you can get. You know what I mean? There's no other one that's going to be valued and appreciated and glorified like gold walking around a damn strip or walking around the earth like natural born beauty. You know what I mean? Or natural born attraction. You know what I mean? You're a hidden gem, gang. To that small circle of the 10% of men and of the 40%, I think, of the population. You know what I mean? And that's men and women included. You know what I mean? So that's a huge significant part. You know what I mean? Not many people doing that, gang. You rare. I mean, to keep it a beam, all versions of aesthetics is attractive. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But there's no other glorified like natural born attraction or beauty. You know what I mean? Nothing's more glorified, you know what I mean, than that. Globally. Number 5, another natural born flex of natural born attractiveness is proper aging. Yes, I noticed that a lot of people who were born attractive, they tend to age pretty well. You know what I mean? Like fine wine. You know what I mean? So when you're born physically attractive, you age better. You know what I mean? And with you aging better, you're gonna either age like fine wine. You know what I mean? You're gonna either coast out to where you just age normally and just look like a normal civilian, or this is the thing. This is the kicker. This is how shit get when, you know what I'm saying, you have superior genetic genes and things like that. There's no cap on your attraction. You know what I mean? And we talking about from youth all the way to the grave. You know what I mean? You being physically born attractive, that motherfucker can enhance in your youth, in your teens, in your adulthood, in your fucking elder age. You know what I mean? There is no cap. You know what I mean? So as far as the aging process, when you're born physically attractive naturally, gang, you ain't gonna have no minor like mess ups and screw ups as far as like aging wise. You know what I mean? Like as if you would if you were like surgically induced, you know what I mean? Or if you look maxed or things like that. You know what I mean? When it comes from God's divine creation's hands, everything ages well. You know what I mean? And so you'll notice that people who are born attractive age like fine wine. You know what I mean? So with little to no type of like discrepancies. You know what I mean? And sometimes they motherfucking enhance on their looks. You know what I mean? And like I said, we're talking about from the womb all the way to the upper room. You know what I mean? When you're born naturally physically attractive, that motherfucker can take off and enhance out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So you can never ever stop looking good. You know what I mean? So the likelihood of that is very high when you're physically born attractive naturally. You know what I mean? You don't have any type of like harm to your body, any damages, anything like that, anything that's just not normal. You know what I mean? You don't have anything like prosthetic or artificial. You know what I mean? So your aging process tends to go great. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you're literally a natural specimen of God's great divine design, you tend to age fine like wine. You know what I mean? So that's another huge one. Number 6, another way that being born naturally attractive is far more superior than any other version of aesthetic attraction is, granted you stay off the Krenak, you know what I mean, is longevity in your looks. You know what I mean? I find it that you'll notice that people who are born physically attractive, like naturally, they tend to hang on to their looks for a very long time. You know what I mean? So especially the non-artificial, you know what I'm saying, look gainers, you know what I mean? So when you're born physically attractive naturally, you'll tend to see that your looks hang on for a while, you know what I mean? And some people are fortunate enough to hang on to them shits to the grave, you know what I mean? So that's a huge one. Another reason why being born naturally physically attractive is far more superior than any other aesthetic version of yourself that you can artificially get is the fact that you are literally God's natural design.
You know what I mean? So you're not artificially made. You know what I mean? They say when you go to heaven, you're supposed to return and reduce or back to your, you know what I'm saying, your most youthful, most attractive self. You know what I mean? To your mid 25 to 30, right? That means that when you go to heaven and you reduce back to your age, you're gonna be physically attractive all over again. Why? Because God ordained it. You know what I mean? You're not artificially made. You know what I mean? You're not gonna look away here and then go up there and look a whole different way. No, you are literally God's project walking around in a physical form for man. You know what I mean? And you are literally God's perfect creation and perfect design. It's like an art project. You're literally God's art project walking around on showcase. You know what I mean? So you're the natural design of it. You know what I mean? You didn't have to get anything induced or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's literally your God's ordained perfect natural design. You know what I mean? And a showcase of it. You are literally God's sculpted art of perfection. Yes, gang. You are literally ordained by the Lord himself to be physically attractive. Naturally too. No enhancements, no artificial things, right? This was ordained by the Lord in his mind and his great divine design. You know what I mean? You are literally God's greatest sculpted art of perfection, literally, that you just get to walk around and showcase in front of men, you know what I mean, for all eternity. You know what I mean? Now, whether that's going to be burning in hell, being physically attractive, or up in air conditioners, praising the Lord, being physically attractive, that's up to you. But regardless, you get to be physically attractive. Something that a lot of people don't get to do, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that blessing, you know what I mean? You know, so just being able to be a specimen and a part of God's actual physical design and constant acknowledgement and just showcase of his greatness and his time and his beauty and his creation, literally, amongst the eyes of men, of perfection, is OC, gang. I'm not gonna cap. You know what I mean? You being born naturally physically attractive, if literally you're God's artwork of perfection. You know what I mean? Just knowing that when you're born physically attractive is that you're literally one of God's masterpieces of art, and that you're literally a sculpture of perfection just walking around is a huge flex, gang. Real talk. Can't never take that away from you. You know what I mean? That's pretty lit. And that you were ordained to be physically attractive from the great Lord above. That's the double flex. Another way that being born physically attractive naturally is a huge flex and far more superior than any other aesthetic version of yourself that you try to become is the fact that the instant financial status boost that you get straight out the womb. You know what I mean? Just because you're born physically attractive, you automatically climb so many more levels that everybody else got to start from ground 1. You started like ground 10. You know what I mean? Not to mention that your looks can also just provide a financial lifestyle and a career for your ass. You know what I mean? Over everything. You know what I mean? Your looks can literally provide financial stability for you out the womb. You know what I mean? Also, not to mention that you also get the financial finesse flip. You know what I mean? So what other motherfuckers are paying money for that you got for free ends up paying you. That's pretty gangster, you know what I mean? Especially when you're born physically attractive naturally, you know what I mean? Because especially in this time of day, everybody's focused on attraction. Now people want the pure and the natural beauty, you know what I mean? And if you want me to be honest, I feel like that's the way it's always should be, straight up. All right, gang, with that being said, we have officially reached the end. 15.
I just want to say, please don't get it misconstrued or mistaken and think that I'm hating. I respect, I love, and I support all different levels and versions of aesthetic elevation. This is just me making a humble observation on the different values of aesthetic and attraction equations and the overall power of attraction evaluation used for the purpose of entertainment and education. For more hot topics on the psychology of attraction, halo effect, overall lookism, and attraction content, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications to stay locked in to all the fire new drop content creations. So to you and all of the future subscribers, I extend my invitation to help grow to 1K through manifestation. With that, I give great thanks and joy and my appreciation. Sign up, gang.
We reached number 10. I told y'all it was a banger. So by far, not only because of the huge recognition, acknowledgement, appreciation, attention, and respect globally that being born physically attractive naturally receives, but in fact, when it comes to all other aesthetic levels, being born naturally beautiful or attractive is by far the only way you're able to receive this scientifically, and that is genetic and offspring pass. Yes, gang, if you didn't know, I will gladly inform thee. The only way you're able to pass down your genetic gene pool and your genes to your offspring as far as attractiveness is being yourself physically born naturally attractive or beautiful. No matter how much looksmaxing, glowing up, bone crushing, surgical, anything like that, no matter how much that you do, you will never be able to pass down your genes to your offsprings or your attractive genes just down in your gene pool organically, regardless, without you first being born physically attractive or beautiful naturally. Yes, you cannot pass down artificial genes like looksmaxing or bone crushing or glowing up or getting your body healthy or anything like that.
It has and can only be encoded in your DNA and in your gene pool naturally.
It has to be encoded in your gene, and the only thing that's on the aesthetic levels that is encoded in your gene is natural born beauty and attractiveness. It's your boy P.B.G.Q Supreme TV, and I have dropped some more